Hello and welcome to a review of set 75379 buildable R2-D2. If you're new, please make sure to subscribe. This set was released March 1st and retails for £90 or $100 or €100 and contains two minifigures, one of those being Darth Malik and one of the others being R2-D2, making his appearance in another LEGO set for about the 20th odd year in a row. So this set contains 1,050 pieces, which is a pretty good price per piece point, and a pretty good set nonetheless, saying the last buildable R2-D2 we got was £180. Moving on to the back of the box, you can see the R2-D2 with its different functions and how different parts separate, so the third leg can either pop in or out, haven't made it movable yet, or retractable to say, which would be a really good improvement in the future, and this does look to be another printed tile, which is really good to see. So, moving on to the side of the box, you get this lovely brick art, and moving on to the other side, you get a lovely display of the Darth Malik minifigure, which, personally, I wish they did this for the other 25th anniversary minifigures. So, here I've got the Tantive 4, and there's just no Darth Vader on the side of the box, because that would be something amazing just to have on the side, all lined up, but they are really good boxes nonetheless. On the top of the box you have the 1:1 scale of R2-D2, which is really good to see, and this is just amazing use of parts. You got the R2-D2 legs, some battle droid chests, some lightsabers, you got everything there, it looks amazing. And on the bottom of the box is just the general boring information stuff. So let's get this set open. To open this set, unfortunately, is going to be thumb tabs. I reckon in America it will be tape tabs, which is a really nice little thing there. However, UK gets stuck with the thumb tabs. So inside the box you get 10 bags, a set of instructions and a set of stickers, which I would like to see more printed pieces, but the stickers are always good for the extra detail. And on the front you got the nice plain white instructions with a nice render of the set with the minifigures. And as you flick through, you've got the little progress bar along the bottom, which is a really cool addition in my opinion, and a much needed one as well. So let's get this built up and I'll catch you shortly. Okay, so it is now all built up. So let's have a quick look at the minifigures before we get onto the main build. So we're going to be starting off with the R2-D2, very basic R2-D2 on the front. However, we do get some lovely back printing, which we started seeing a few years ago in the diorama set, and it has continued into the general R2-D2s, which is really nice to see. Not really too much to say about him, as it's just the generic R2-D2. Moving on to the minifigure, which this set is probably going to be bought most for, is Darth Malik. He is absolutely amazing. You've got this lovely printing on the front of the legs and the torso, and then behind the cape you have some back printing, as you can see slightly. I'll just sort out the cape a bit. So there's the lovely back printing. There's no side or leg printing, which is slightly disappointing, but it is not always expected at the moment. However, a bit of arm printing would have been nice as well. Moving on up to the face, it's a lovely dual printed face. So you got printing on both sides, and then you have this lovely mouth guard type piece, is probably the best way to describe it, along with his lightsaber, which is obviously red. He does also come with this printed 25 years of LEGO Star Wars tile, very similar to the 20 years of LEGO Star Wars. However, this is slightly bigger, I believe. I think the other ones were 4x4s, but I will double check that. And you do get a lovely printing there as well. Just on the note of this being a 25-year anniversary minifigure, he does not have the 20th anniversary printed on the back like the last ones did, which is something I thought they would have kept uniform across their anniversaries, but they didn't. So moving on to the main build, this actually consisted of 12 bags, not the initial 10 I said, as I just miscounted when taking them out of the box. It's a pretty simple R2-D2 build. You build each of these components in one, 2 bags for each leg, 1 bag for that, 2 bags for the head. So it's quite a slowish build. There's not many bags, not many pieces per bag, which is quite good if you only want to do a few bags a night. If we move on down to the leg, you can see the lovely detail. This just poses slightly, but I don't really think you want to pose it, as that's the best position for it, as it's his little jet boosters. Down here you got the lovely use of the whip piece. So if I just pull out one of these, it's a pretty good use of the piece, and it fits very nicely and has been used before on some droids. So that design is replicated on the other side, basically to a T, as it's just a mirror image, as you can see. And then moving on to the third leg, this is posable to a very minor extent. You need a little bit of wiggle room, and you can connect it so you can stand up normally. However, I think the best pose position is with all 3 legs down. Going on the posability, you do have a decent range of motion with the legs, as you can see, as it's just a simple, if I can unplug it, it's just one of these rotary pieces, I don't know if that makes much sense, but it's quite easy to rotate him. Moving on up to the head, he can obviously do a full 360-degree spin. It's used by the same piece as in the legs, so you can hear that clicking sound slightly, which you would have probably preferred it to be smooth. However, this does allow you to just lock it in a location, which is nice, rather than it just like gravity taking it down when it's on display. On the head, they've done a fairly decent job of making it a dome in such a small size. These are all studs on top or snot, and you got some tiled pieces here. It would have been nicer to see printed pieces, however that is what we got. So there's another sticker there. However, the top piece is printed, which is really nice to see, as I would not enjoy putting stickers on that. Moving on to the front of him, these are all sticker pieces, as you would probably expect now. Slightly disappointing though, and you don't get the opening doors as you would in previous R2-D2s, but you do still have the pieces for that. So in order to put the accessories on, you just take off these tiles on the side, which are quite simple to take off, and then you have these pieces which will just stick on the side, and it does have the white strip down there to make it look like it does close up, but it's a really nice little addition there, and then it can just stay on there, and you got the little accessories. He does also come with his periscope, which you can obviously attach on his head when he is underwater, so it does look quite good with all the accessories on. However, I personally like it without the accessories when on display. I did just realise I had the head wrong way around, so I have just corrected that now before you get annoyed at me in the comments. Moving on to the back of the build, it is pretty basic, just a few sticker pieces for a bit of detail there, and the cylinder point, it's not, I think they could have probably done slightly better, as it's a bit rigid in parts, so here and here it's just a bit rigid, but that could probably be down to the small scale of the set. So overall, the general build is pretty good. It looks absolutely amazing on display. One of my only annoying things is, so with the accessory points having to go here, they haven't been able to make it as a proper cylinder, which does just not give the proper R2-D2 in my opinion. And you can also see a fairly decent gap in between the head and the body. I'm not sure if that's how I built it or that's just how it is, as it's just a simple connection point like that, and I don't think there's a way to get rid of the gap, which is slightly annoying, but it does look quite good on display. Moving on to the tile where R2-D2 stands, it's a pretty basic build. You've got the printed tile, which is really good to see they're doing these now rather than the old sticker ones. Not too much on the back, and R2-D2 just clips down on these 4 studs. So overall, I don't think this is actually worth the £90 it is. However, I think Costco currently have it about £70 in the UK, which is a really good price. If you want the minifigure, you could probably just buy him separately. However, if you haven't got a buildable R2-D2 before, this is probably the one to get. It's the cheapest out there, and it is amazing for its scale. However, it's slightly overpriced, mainly because I think the minifigures have added a slight bit as well. So that's going to be it for this review. If you're new, please make sure to subscribe and make sure to check out my other reviews for the March 1st wave, and I'll see you next time. Bye.